Now at 6, a man held in a Cuban prison for 5 years is free and back in the States. So what does it mean for the rest of us? Plus, an armed man is shot and killed by 2 local police officers during a confrontation. And police speak for the first time after getting rammed into by a local man's speeding car. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Amanda Goodman. Ron is off. Today, we're hearing for the first time from police rammed by a man in a speeding car. You saw the video first on KWWL last night. Waterloo police were on a disturbance call. A man left but then returned to the scene, speeding in his SUV before he rammed into police squad cars. That man is Kelvin Plain Jr. The collision sent Waterloo police officers Randall Hammett and Sergeant Brooke Carter to the hospital. With our top story tonight, KWWL's Nikki Newbrough spoke to Sergeant Carter today. She's live from the police department. Nikki.
Sergeant Brooke Carter says she wasn't scared at the time because she didn't have enough time to be scared. She said it happened all so fast.
More cars! Send us more cars and an ambulance!
That voice, Sergeant Brooke Carter, as she calls for backup. You see, Sergeant Carter wasn't even supposed to be on this domestic disturbance call on Niles Street. She says she wasn't busy at the time.
Thought I would go over there in case they needed some kind of help.
Watch the video. Carter's car is the one you see driving straight towards the camera. What happens next? Carter explains as
just fast. And I saw it coming at a high rate of speed, and I could hear, you know, the engine was revving up, and the closer he came to us, the faster he was going.
She says she didn't know it was Kelvin Plain Jr. behind the wheel, only that it was the same SUV that had left just minutes earlier.
He wanted to hurt somebody. I believe he knew there was an officer in that car because he saw all 3 of us there. He knew we each had our own car because he looked at all of us. He drove by all of us. So he knew there was an officer in that car, and he wanted to injure somebody.
And that's what he did, slamming Officer Randall Hammett's car right into the tree. As Sergeant Carter was helping to detain Plain, she knew her friend and colleague was hurt. She thought he was severely hurt.
Go sit down, Randy, please go sit down.
I was shocked that he was even able to get out of that car. After looking at the damage to that car, I couldn't believe it. But knowing Officer Hammett and him getting out of that car just shows his dedication.
Sergeant Carter says this situation just shows how quickly a situation like this can turn. Would you do anything differently?
I wouldn't. Nope, I wouldn't. Everything turned out, I think, as well as that it could have. Injuries to everybody involved could have been a lot worse. So we're all very lucky. Even Mr. Plain is very lucky that he was not injured worse. But I would do the same thing over again.
And Sergeant Carter was obviously back at work today, as you saw there. She told me she just had a lot of stuff to do at work. We've got you covered live in Waterloo. Nikki Newbrough, KWWL News.
An amazing officer. All right, Nikki, thanks so much. Now, the other officer, Randall Hammett, was also injured. He's been treated and released from the hospital, but hasn't yet returned to work. If you want to see that dash cam video again, it's on KWWL.com. A man is dead tonight after a confrontation with Marshalltown police. This morning, police say it all happened around 3:45 near the intersection of 2nd Avenue and Lynn Street. Officers say the man was armed with a gun when 2 officers shot him.
I don't know any police officers that get into this line of work or come to work hoping something like this happens. Exact opposite. I mean, nobody ever wants to see this happen, but it's an unfortunate part of the job.
The 2 officers involved, again, are on paid administrative leave, and the DCI is investigating. Well, we actually saw the sun today for the first time in a long time. Let's